So I'd like to start by telling a story. Last week I was riding around with my girlfriend as she was driving on the interstate, and we started to hear her car making a funny noise. We suspected that her tire was starting to get flat, so we decided to go to the nearest gas station and fill it up with air. When we got out of the car, this is what we saw. Now I'm not sure if everyone can see, but this is all completely torn open and this is shredded to bits. The tire is completely beyond repair. And this is her back left tire. About a month before this, her front left tire blew. And I was not there for that experience, but apparently it was so chaotic that it wound up cutting her brake line. As you can imagine, these damages were a major inconvenience and were expensive to repair. But who's to blame for all of this? Was my girlfriend cursed by the tire fairy? I think not. I think something far more sinister is at play. I suspect the true culprit is potholes. Now, I live in Omaha, so I consider myself to be somewhat of a pothole expert, and if you guys have been out on the roads at all recently, then you've probably had an encounter or two with potholes yourselves. Omaha has a huge pothole problem, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. We're going to discuss some potential solutions and the benefits of following my proposed call to action. Let's begin. Potholes are holes in the road that form by erosion. There are many ways that it can come to be, but we'll go over some of the most common ones. So, most roads are paved with asphalt. Now, when cars leak oil or gas, it seeps into the road and weakens the rocks that hold the asphalt together, which makes it easy for water to get inside. Now, when it rains or when ice melts, the water will seep into the road and find a home underneath. And when water freezes, it expands and cracks the road that's on top of it, which in turn makes it easier for more water to get in. Now, this time of year, the weather is constantly going above and below freezing, meaning that the water underneath is constantly melting and refreezing. And it's just a cycle that's very damaging for the roads. And when traffic dries over these cracks and pockets that are caused by this freezing and thawing, the asphalt will collapse and give us what we know as a pothole. And once a pothole is formed, it's super easy for the elements listed above to make them even bigger. So why is this a problem? Well, the American Automobile Association, or AAA, posted an article to their website in 2018 titled, "Pothole Damage Costs U.S. Drivers $3 billion Annually," where they talked about a study where they found over the last 5 years, there have been a total of $15 billion in damages, with the reported cause of the damages being potholes. More locally, KETV had their correspondent Waverly Monroe report on a closure that happened this weekend here in Omaha, and her report was titled, "Public Works Closes Road Due to Excessive Potholes." And she explains how 144th and Q Street was closed because of all of the crazy potholes that were there. You might as well be better off driving off-road, and that's why Public Works decided to close the road for these lanes going southbound and those lanes northbound. A little bit closer to home, KMTV reporter Alex McLuhan reported on a pothole issue on 72nd and Dodge. In his report titled, "Drivers Maneuvering Mass Potholes on Major Streets," you can see the massive pothole that almost looks like an inverted speed bump that has been plaguing drivers right across the street from the target. And if you have been on the road that connects Hyper to Elmwood Park, you know that it's a problem here on campus as well. So this is dangerous to your safety and to your car's safety. But what's the sense in talking about problems if we don't talk about solutions? Well, fixing the current potholes that are in the roads is simply not a good enough solution. It's hazardous to the workers, and the traffic is hazardous to your mental health. Yes. So, we need to take preventative measures to make sure that the potholes never even form in the first place. Now, there are some measures that are being taken currently, such as filling in cracks before the winter comes, so that way not as much water will seep in. But they did that in the fall, and we see how that turned out for us this spring. So we need to do more. I suggest that, well, I'm not a scientist, but I suggest that they have an asphalt seal coat that will help repel the oil from loosening the asphalt. Now, many of the coal-based seal coats do not repel the oil in the gasoline, but there are some soybean oil-based seal coats that are eco-friendly, and they actually do repel those materials. So, what is the call to action? March on down to City Hall and get a hold of Jean Stothert, our mayor. She has recently announced her plan on her website to spend $300 million on the construction of 3 downtown parks. I suggest that you tell her to give $100 million of those dollars over to the road fixer guys, because they're the ones who are going to get rid of the potholes for us. Now imagine that you do follow my call to action. Our plan starts getting put into place. They fix all the potholes from this winter and start preparing for the winters to come. And you're riding down the road smooth, cruising fast. Imagine you don't. Well, we just keep going down the same cycle, and next year's roads will likely be worse than they are this year. In summary, potholes are dangerous and expensive. Potholes are in your area. You can help stop the potholes from returning. How? Tell Jean Stothert you want $100 million to help fix the roads. Thank you for your time.